Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This broadcast is sponsored by ambertracks.com for your emergency survival supplies and waterproof Bibles. Go to ambertracks.com. Okay, this morning we're going to check out the 10 cheapest places to live in the United States. Think about the prices that vary from state to state, sometimes town to town, county to county. It's tremendous. I have a family that lives out in Kansas. And they survive, with a family of 5 for $60,000, $70,000 a year. Struggle, yeah, but get by. Try doing that here in Long Island, and you're barely getting by with one person. So we're going to give you some of these, and hopefully it's helpful to you. And we'll get into some current events as well, as usual. The screen looks a little bit dim here because we are overcast, dark, raining. Maybe I put this overhead light on, it'll help. Let me adjust the screen here and put the current events screen up as well. And we can see that there. All right, please bear with me just a second. Technical difficulties. Hold on a second. Who set this program up? 2.8 just happened in Iran. 2.6, 2.6. Okay. Always something shaking and quaking in Iran. Every time we do a broadcast, so it's maybe this time of the day for them. It's dark over there. All right, so Arlington, Texas. Harlingen, Texas. Let's see what kind of prices we got out there. Half a gallon of milk, $2.33. Monthly rent, $640. Home price, $218,000. Price of gas, $3.29. That's not too cheap. Why is gas so expensive out there? Maybe this report is a little bit older. Let's see. I think I saw 2000. Not sure. Okay. All right. Well, it's gonna be cheap enough out there. Haircut, $7.50. All right, can't be. Movie ticket, $9.17. Bottle of wine. We're not gonna report on that. 10 cheapest places to live. McAllen, Texas. 2. Texas has got 2 right now. Wow. Okay. A little bit more expensive. I think that first one was the cheapest. A gallon of milk, $2.34. Monthly rent, $7.40. Home price average, $202,000. You couldn't touch a home in Long Island for $202,000. That's a deposit. I mean, you got to look at least $500,000 and up to get a home in Long Island. Minimum. It's disgusting. Forget trying to live in Manhattan. Movie ticket, $9.08. Haircut, $9. Norman, Oklahoma. Brant Park in Norman, Oklahoma. Let's see, we got half gallon of milk, $2.16. Monthly rent, $647. Average home price, $225,000. Gallon of gas, $3.30. Haircut, $10.89. Here, this definitely has to be a few years old. These gas prices, what are they now? They're down to $2.74 or something. Yeah, so this is definitely at least 5 years old. This report, but nonetheless relevant to comparison to the rest of the United States. If you guys want to check that out. Ardmore, Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma's got 2 in Texas, 2 in Oklahoma. Average gallon of milk, $2.16. Monthly rent, $588. Gotta move there. Home price, $231K. Gallon of gas, $3.34. Haircut, $11.61. Movie ticket, $9.50. Memphis, Tennessee, number 5. Half gallon of milk, $2.29. What were the other ones? Those are gallons of milk, weren't they? No, these are all half gallons. Half gallons I've been reading to you. I thought there was full gallons. I don't buy milk. Okay, I lost it. You gotta be kidding me. Most of years ago, but all right. Well, you get the idea, basically. If I could bring this up again real quick, I'll go into it. Go into my browsing history here. They're comparing, what the average prices across the country in regards to milk, haircuts, movie tickets, rent, prices of homes. I do have a couple friends in the contracting business, construction business, and they say that is increasing, which is a lot of how the economy bases its trajectory for the growth, housing development. So perhaps my fellow brother in Christ, Ben Carson, as a Seventh-day Adventist, is doing his job really well. He's was put in charge by President Obama. Urban and Housing, HUD. Housing and Urban Development, that's what it stands for. All right, let's try this again. If you don't get the right pressure and speed, tactic of the ratio of finger to phone, touchpad, things disappear. Sad to say on these phones. They still haven't figured that out. Memphis, Tennessee. Half gallon of milk, $2.29. Monthly rent, $7.11. Home price, $193. Not bad. Gallon of gas, $3.40. Haircut, $13.20. How you figure in Memphis, Tennessee, their hair is important there. That's another thing. They should say maybe average. Now, car is hard to say, but also is home as well too. No, they should do at monthly average lease at least for the cars. What can you lease a car for at no money down? A $13.20. Interesting how they perhaps there's a lot of pride there, right? They're more concerned about their appearance. Movie tickets, $8.39, $8.93. Let's see, what's the next one? Fayetteville, Arkansas. Half gallon of milk, $2.16. Monthly rent, $5.74. Average house, $237K. Gallon of gas, $3.26. Haircut, $12.47. Movie tickets, $8.80. Wichita Falls, Texas. It looks like I almost got it scrambled there. Like it was Wichita Falls, Texas. Let's see, that's 3 for Texas then. Half a gallon of milk, $2.43. Monthly rent, $5.65. Home price, $267K. Half a gallon of gas, $3.25. Haircut, $9.67. What if we should just take $1 off that gallon there of gas nowadays? I bet you that would work. So let's say $2.25 gallon of gas. The only other ones were $2.30, $2.20. Haircut, $9.67. I'd probably add $1 there. Take $1 off of gas, add it onto the haircut. Movie, $9.21. All right, Muskogee, Oklahoma. Muskogee, Oklahoma. Come on, work with me. There we go. Half gallon of milk, $2.16. Monthly rent, $5.33. Home price, $211K. Gallon of gas, $2.32. Haircut, $14.44. Oh wow, that's the most expensive haircut yet there. Muskogee, Oklahoma. Movie ticket, $9.50. And I think we got 1 or 2 more. Pueblo, Colorado. Colorado's a beautiful place. Wow, half gallon of milk, $1.95. Monthly rent, $7.08. Home price, $202K. Gallon of gas, $2.37. Haircut, $12.54. Movie ticket, $8.50. We got one more. I think we got one more. Ashland, Ohio. Half gallon of milk, $2.23. Monthly rent, $5.38. Home price average, $222K. Gallon of gas, $2.50. Haircut, $12.29. Movie ticket, $8.69. Well, that's it. Those of you interested in what's going on out there in the world, the prices and where to live, if you're considering moving as well. I just missed that, whatever just popped up there. So, a lot of other things to consider too as well. I actually offer a service on people to hire me as a consultant on where to live for or buy property, like a second property, an emergency bug out off-grid doomsday apocalypse scenario, where would you want to live? Where would you not want to live? How can you make what your heart is set on into the best case scenario for that doomsday apocalypse scenario? What is that scenario, that situation, the conditions? And off the top of my head, I didn't even plan on thinking about this. I think one of the biggest, children comes to mind, the first thing. Do you have children? How old are they? Do you plan on having children? For that, you want to be by, in modern day times, how society is functioning now, you want to be by doctors, hospitals. You want to be able to take care of an emergency above and beyond your own capabilities of, you got a scratch or a small cut, here's an antiseptic, cleanse, peroxide, whatever, and a Band-Aid. Besides that, let's say it's you and your wife, you're elderly, or maybe perhaps even a young couple. You have decent skills with an axe, chainsaw, and you know how to not cut your finger off or cut into an artery with a chainsaw in your leg. You wear your chaps, your safety, you know how to hunt efficiently. Worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to get a bad cut, and you'll take care of that. You got your own stitches, your own disinfectants and stuff. You know how to do this. 2 acres, small lake, attracts small critters. Mosquitoes to deal with in the winter, in the summer. Small critters attract large critters, attract large prey. Good hunting. Small running creek, perhaps. Maybe even better yet, that coagulates in a small lake. Big lake, big problems, for many reasons. Well water, you want to hire first what's called a hydrologist. Hydrologist? Am I pronouncing it as my phone? Hydrologist. Yeah, that's what it is. This guy's job is to find you water without actually drilling. And no, he doesn't use the dowsing rods either. I've heard some good stories about that, but I wouldn't count on it. He does some sort of, I don't know, echolocation or ground penetrating radar. I'm not sure what he uses. Something that goes down and says, okay, you have this much water or this table level of water. You have to drill here. Done. As compared to the drill guy that's going to drill until he finds water. And each time he drills, it's a couple $1,000s. Foliage, trees, sunlight accessibility for solar panels. Laws for your local community on being able to go into the ground. What are they? Can I have a well there? Can I harvest these trees or this rock if I want to? Can I look for gold and minerals in the earth if I want to? What about above? Can I put a mill, a windmill for electricity, generator? What is the traffic like? There's a website out there that does noise pollution. It's a scale, like 1 to 100, 0 to 100, noise pollution. And they identify that according to the noise around you. And the obvious, most loudest is probably airport, train, fire department, where you're going to get a lot of noise constantly, 20 hours a day. And for the other 4 hours, you might have some sleep. Some areas here in Long Island, I looked up, were an 80. That's a lot of noise. I don't see how these people live like that. They live literally, beautiful house right next to the train station. It is very loud, and they cross, and then there's another one 2 blocks away where they cross over a road, and they're constantly blowing their horns. Ambulances going by. 2 blocks away is a hospital. Right by, in between LaGuardia and MacArthur Airport, LaGuardia and Kennedy Airport, big, huge 747 Boeing planes flying low. Helicopters, pet peeve of mine, it boils my blood to see those things flying low. An 80. I guess above that would be next to a military airport. You know, they're going to be they're gun ranges. So what else off the top of your head for hunting, fishing, neighbors, proximity, and also are they ruling in their legislation pro-gun? Um, they're against abortion. You know, what is the mentality of the those locals there? Colleges. You know, are your kids going to a local college? Are you concerned about that traffic flow as well too? And then lastly, I would say elevation. What is the surrounding elevation of that property? Are you in danger of mudslide, landslide, avalanche, rocks falling, and also the pitch of that for coming down to you with excessive rain? Is it going to be swiping through your living room? A river? So much of that going on now. You see in the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel, Two Preachers. They have great videos from around the world capturing all this flooding going on, and you know, they've even given a graphic compilation through research they've done. They put on a graph, you know, an XY graph, simple, um, since about 50 to 60 years ago, how it's increased the devastating catastrophes. Not talking small little things here and there, but the hardcore devastating catastrophes that have increased 100% more. Really, really bad for you know, those of us that are concerned of the trend of that, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. So I'm talking major hurricanes, landslides, tsunamis, flooding, earthquakes is a big one. That's up 400% over the past 100 years. I know that for a fact. Um, Dutch Sench, if you go on his channel on YouTube as well, don't ask me to spell it. Just type in Dutch Sense. I think it's S-I-N-C-E. And his website, of course, BP Earthwatch, does a good report on a lot of this. His website, too, has more links than you could possibly go through in a week for scientific data. Um, but off-grid, how did we get into this? I guess cheapest living place in the United States. If you're moving, consider moving, get a bug-out location. Off-grid, how are you going to detect these things? How are you going to help stay ahead? How can you bring 21st century technology into the 16th century? That's the question for today. I'm not talking about time travel. I'm talking about when the hands of time get turned back 400 or 500 years, when everything is wiped out, off-grid, imploded for whatever reason. Fill in the blank. Man-made, nature, cosmic. What are you going to be able to tap into in that transition with technology? Do you want to even? Is that going to be a handicap? Or should you just focus on the skill sets that you would need in surviving that situation? I would say more of I would lean more towards skill sets. But if you're one of those people that grew up, you know, I'd say if you were born in the 80s or sooner, 80s, 90s, 2000, you're more reliant on technology than someone like myself, born in the 60s. Um, you know, and even so forth. My grandparents grew up with the ideology from their grandparents, etc. So technology, bring it back into the wilderness. You got satellite dishes, you got satellite phones. I'm a big fan of that, satellite phones. But they're expensive. You're not going to touch one for less than, and there's no plan for that either. Too 2.6. I can't see that. Iran was that? Yeah, Iran 2.3, 2.6. It's always quaking over there. But with the satellite phones, you got to buy the phone. and then you're going to buy the minutes prepackaged ahead of time, and I think they expire once you start using them. Check that out, but don't buy 500 minutes for whatever it is, $1,000 or something, and then only have it to expire a year later. Just read the fine print on that. Dongles. Do I have one? I probably have one. I'm going to dig into here. It's a small little thumb drive that goes USB port. And some of them can communicate directly, from my understanding, to satellites. And you'll be able to get with the right software, weather reports. How great is that? Communications. All different frequencies, even TV bandwidth. So I think dongles for laptops might be a good transition as well too. But again, you got to be able to transport this stuff or have it there at your location, keep it powered up, hopefully repair it or have redundancy backup. Satellite dishes again, but nothing beats a good axe, a good knife, a good rifle, a good bow, a good set of plans to transition season to season with the harvest of your foods, canning, your own livestock, chickens, goats, like the Amish do, the Dutch in Pennsylvania, some good work oxen maybe to help you plow the fields, or things to be able to acquire later on. I know in my personal own location identification would be by a farm, a big farm that has this stuff. So in the case of my having to need it, barter, work, trade skills, and or outright purchase in the future. Now, one of my ideas for that is also horses, which is another great thing to have, are stabled at a barn, fed, cared for, exercised, etc., for a fee. So let's say, for argument's sake, $500 a month, and you'll take care of my horse. I come over and ride it anytime I want, and it's a deal. Why don't they do that with other smaller animals, like chickens, goats? But you don't own it. You lease it. Every month you pay, it might be $10, $20, $50, whatever. But in the event of you calling that lease claimed to procure your animal, and let's say maybe it's another $20 to take it. So you pay the monthly fee, you come and take it, here's $20, thank you very much, you take your chicken, you take your goat, whatever, or a sliding scale. For each month, it's an extra $1 off the price of the goat. But meanwhile, they house the chickens. You get the eggs. You could take the eggs, too, if you want, on a monthly fee. For another $5 a month. Come by and take, whatever. Keep in mind, I know that in the winter, the chickens produce less eggs. So you got to prepare for that. Eggs don't last that long. If you coat them with, some sort of oil, they'll last a little bit longer. That's it. I go on for hours with this conversation. But if you want to hire me for that, for your own survival tactics, techniques, and or bunkers, if you're interested in bunkers too, building, you can hire me as a consultant for that. The only thing I don't do is firearms and martial arts, self-defense. That website is, for everything else, worthingtonbunkers.com. All right, let me adjust this screen here and get into some current events. Again, that website is worthingtonbunkers.com. All right, what do we got going on in this crazy, nutty world here today? Yeah, I know, this is the second Iran again, 3.1. Of course, in California with 9 updates now. I think that's another update because I think they started, another fire started up on top of the 7 they already have going at once. Let's see what that update is. From today's date is 12/12/17, and this update is from 12. Okay. This is the stunning apocalyptic glow that has formed over California as authorities battle a wildfire the size of Singapore. It was filmed in the coastal city of Morro Bay and shows a smoky glow in the skies over the state, which is enduring the fifth biggest fire in its history. The blaze, which has been named the Thomas Fire, has now burned an area of more than 230,000 acres around 100 miles northwest of Los Angeles. The clip was posted on Twitter by Davis Pearl, who wrote, "Apocalyptic smoky glow in Morro Bay from Thomas Fire, December 10th. God bless the responders. Strong wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour and extreme low humidity that are expected through Thursday will continue to pose a challenge to firefighter efforts," the National Weather Service said. That combination of winds and very low relative humidity leads to critical fire conditions and can allow for a potential of significant fire growth and fire behavior. National Weather Service incident meteorologist Rich Thompson said at a community meeting on the fire on Monday evening about 7,000 firefighters were battling the blaze that has destroyed about 800 structures, including more than 680 homes. CAL FIRE said dry vegetation that has not burned in 50 years is acting as fuel for the fire in mountains southeast of Santa Barbara. That sounds like, right there's a hint. For those of you that know fires, they're what are called controlled burns. Controlled burns are what is a preventative, predictive, circumventive, out-of-control fire scenario. So they do these controlled burns for these types of vegetations that no longer grow or are producing or of a value, and they burn them out purposely under the right conditions and circumstances and amount of people, and they're able to not let it get out of control, unlike the BLM doing it on purpose to get out of control out west. There are farmers, rangers, and fire specialists that do this, and this was not done there. So this guy is sneaking in a little hint here saying, hey, I know what's going on, but if this stuff was burned, as it hasn't been, in a controlled manner over the past 50 years, we'd be in a better scenario. Explosion in Australia, natural gas facility just happened. Let's see what's going on there. A deadly explosion and fire that rippled through Australia's main gas pipeline hub has caused Italy to declare a state of emergency due to a lack of supplies. One person was killed and 18 others. Hopefully they won't get disconnected more. Okay, that should do it. 3.4 just happened in Iran too as well. Gas flows. Alright, so we got a major gas supply interruption here in Italy. That's a problem. Pray for these folks here. Is that Australia? Why did it say Italy in Australia? Australia, Lower Australian natural gas facility. I guess they're right next to each other. Where's the map of this? Let's see. Solve that. Yes, Americans are terrible at geography. At least I am. Alright, so I guess that's a pipeline going through Italy. You got a lot of mountainous areas there, so I'm sure they are limited with those that could supply this to get through that type of terrain. There was a story on this earlier in my email that there was a crack in a pipeline that did cause an explosion, and they were working to seal it to prevent it from being catastrophic like it just went. All right, so gas prices going up. Again, man, I pray every day for this, for our military to come home, close down all these bases around the world, which is like 40,000 troops around the world that the military doesn't even account for or disclose where they are. It costs enough trillions of dollars a year. We need to secure our own lands, folks. This is ridiculous. When stuff like this happens, it's almost nail biting because of the snowball effect it could have. What a catalyst this could be into so many other problems imploding. No pun intended. People just don't. I don't think these politicians and a lot of these military guys, not the military, probably politicians mostly, just how fragile the world really is. We're on a thin eggshell and it's cracking underneath us. I don't even know where I was now. Oh, lost here. Fire. Oh yeah, the fire in California. This has to. I have to. I'm gonna put time into two things in life as I start to retire. One is a frequency with a device that's somewhat portable to put out fires. Another thing is totally off subject, totally out of the blue here. I think it's so sad that at this day and age we cannot get people to grow their limbs back. If somebody loses a limb, like a lizard loses his tail, why can't we grow it back like they do? People in wheelchairs. So much money is spent and time and direction into so many different avenues. I'm starting to believe it's by design, like cancer, more money could be made out of the treatment rather than the cure. Can they grow limbs back? Probably. Can they get people out of wheelchairs? Probably half of them. But they'll make $12 billion a year off of the supplies used, the medical, the surgery, office, everything else that surrounds the functionality of not curing and just treating. It's a sad, sick world we live in, folks, and they do the same thing with prison as well, too. I have some cop friends, and I remember them telling me a story one night about how, they're told to go out, when the occupancy level is low, or there's a couple of extra beds at the local psychiatric ward, to go drag people in and put them in there, even if their shoelaces are untied. Just to keep the system, the beast, fed. So, keep it in mind. It's sad but true how people are used as tools to feed the beast system. Cops are one of those tools that are used unbeknownst to them, or they, plead the fifth, or they turn a blind eye. Doesn't make them less guilty just for trying to do what they're supposed to do, but they're not, which is uphold their oath to the Constitution. 3.4 in Iran. Iran is just in a blender right now of earthquakes. Dear Lord. Alright, so pray for these folks in California. This fire's not going away. Is it deliberate? I don't know. We have to be on our toes, since there was a promise of 3 days of, or perhaps 3 events, I'm not sure, of retaliation for Trump moving the embassy to Jerusalem and declaring Jerusalem the capital of Israel. You got Manhattan City guy yesterday's failed attempt yesterday morning on a pipe bomb in the bus terminal there. Praise God, that was a failure. And these forest fires, one person was caught lighting fires and captured. Let's see what kind of interrogation comes out of this guy now that he didn't kill himself. Perhaps God's intervention. We'll see what happens. If it wasn't all set up in the first place as well, and this guy probably, and if this guy ends up dying, which he may well could from not natural, but internal injuries, But more than likely, I'm going to say he's going to end up dying of his injuries just because, I don't know, but New York City cops are good at getting information, let me tell you. Detectives, whoever else is involved in there. See what he can sustain during waterboarding during his injuries, too. Well, maybe to get the info and then let him die. But if it's one of those, JFK type of situations, he more than likely will end up at the city morgue, toe tagged, so he doesn't talk. He probably was supposed to die. That was probably a setup, more than likely. CIA born and bred and protected and trained on how to. And did it fail? Not necessarily. Not if they acquired more training in the aftermath of an event and more rules and regulations and laws and enforced Patriot Acts like they had sitting on the books, like Nancy Pelosi does with gun laws after a gun incident, like the country did after 9/11's inside by design false flag. Too much? Too soon? Too bad. All right, Norway, critical infrastructure disruption 55 minutes ago. Let's see what's happening in Norway at level 0. A gas platform, it says. Norway's Statoil has shut down production as its Troll A gas platform in the North Sea following a power outage. The company said on Tuesday the production has been closed down due to power outage. At the same time, a gas alarm was detected. I'm seeing multiple things here come about. You got what just happened there by Italy there. Let's go back to that. Why did it say Australia? Or is that in let's go back to the map here a second. Because it was a nuclear power plant that shut down one of its things too as well. This is above Italy. That gas pipeline. Now you got this gas, and you got the power plant. So when I'm saying how watching these key events unfold is very important because they're not in the media. Because they can be a catalyst to unfolding other events all at once where, wow, look how things are getting heated up. It's not being reported. We're aware of it. We better up our game, just like every other, state, county, federal, whatever, country, military have their warning levels that go from like 1 to 10 or color-coded. You too in your life need to have that ready alertness, bug out, preparedness, frame of mind, plan, set to activate. 2.2 in Iran. And if you don't, you need to seriously reconsider that. Austria. I'm thinking of Australia. Australia and Austria? There's Australia. Up by Italy is Austria? That don't make sense. Yeah, sure enough. There's Austria. Austria and Australia. I thought they were the same thing. See? Typical American. Don't know his geography. So the pipeline here that exploded. Major problem going on right now. The other one I just read to you. The nuclear power plant shutting down. All you need is 2 of these to cross, their paths to cross in a collapse type of situation. Unforeseen. This cannot be predicted or foreseen by the media. Oh look, it made the current emergency. This was just not here 5 minutes ago. Austria, explosion. with the update. And that was what we read, was the update, because it did have the initial report. And I'll go back to you with that if they didn't cover it up already. Good, good, good. Okay, so this is backing up what I'm saying here right now. So the description from yesterday, no, today, an explosion at a natural gas facility near Australia's border with Slovakia on Tuesday killed at least 1 and injured 18 others. Remember that number, 1 and 18. Authorities say Red Cross officials told Australia Press that the explosion took place at the plant. Pipelines connected and gas compressed to cause the blast. The conditions of the... All right, they already twisted this story. Unless it's in the update. The original story was that it was a crack. They're trying to contain the crack so it doesn't explode, so it doesn't leak everywhere. All right, so now it says deadly explosion of fire rippled through Australia's main gas pipeline hub, caused Italy to declare a state of emergency due to a lack of supplies. 1 killed, 18 injured. Same numbers on Tuesday's blast. Serious energy supply problem. Gas price everywhere in Europe soared, concerning about supplies. That's a quick response. The Italian wholesale day ahead prices surged 97% to a record high of 47, whatever it is, liras or something per megawatt hour. 97%. Do you see it? Do you see it? Can you see the implications here? I keep using that word, I know, over and over again, but it's significant for you to get a grasp on a catalyst. What is the trigger mechanism that's going to fill in the blank? Right here you have a gas that is responsible for so much in its areas of 1,000, 2,000 miles around it, all the way over to Italy, declaring a state of emergency for lack of supplies. What are you dependent upon in your area, in your unique situation? What is it that you cannot do without, that you have a supply of, that is supplied to you monthly, weekly, daily? Use your physiology as an example. Go back to breath. You can't do a breath, for, I don't know, 30 seconds. You hold your breath for 30 seconds. Some people, that's a problem. I think it's a 3 minutes without food, 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and like 3 weeks without food, something like that. 3.9 just happened in Iran. So now use that to run a case by your life of dependency. Worst case scenario, emergency. Right now, whatever it is gets cut off. What are you going to do to feed yourself and your family? Staying put. Now, how are you going to do that? Going outside of your area. Where are you going to get that from? Folks, if you're not planned for that, you need to start training now, hardcore. Getting what you can on supplies. I don't care if you got to put it on a credit card and pay it off over 2 years. Get yourself a nice GPS handheld device, rechargeable batteries, some sort of solar backup stuff to recharge those batteries if you can. Small little backpack size things that go fit in a backpack that you could use in these skill sets. Seeds, sprouts, a couple of books, identify mushrooms, plants in your area, and extreme conditions, especially for cold, to survive in. And then that transition, cold to winter, winter to cold, seasonal transition. That was probably one of the biggest killers outside of I'd say man-made catastrophes or war, um, or viruses or plagues, stuff like that, is the inability for people to survive through a unproductive harvest season or a really, really harsh winter where they have to burn through their supplies, literally and figuratively, um, meaning wood and more exhaustion of calories being burned, needing to feed more off that supply that may have been already dwindled. What is your ability outside of the scope of a densely populated area to live off the land? It's in your face. It's in your face right here. Something simple like this, you just have to be able to see it and recognize what's going on right now. This is ours. Let's watch. I suggest if you sit at home, you got something else to do, you could check this website right here. Highlight it for you. HISZ.rsoe.hu. You just click on the alert map and keep an eye on these updates. You have to do it. There's not a choice. You don't have a choice here. You have to be able to tap into this, recognize it, and not wait for the emergency radio, if you even have one, alert to go off. They're not going to alert you anyway. All right, moving on. A couple vehicle accidents, USA, Zimbabwe, snow. I'm sorry. Canada's got some major snow blizzard storms, environmental pollution, United Kingdom, pipeline system, 40 more. Are you serious? I hope this is the one I was confused about. This. No, this isn't. Okay, so this wasn't the crack that I was talking about with the happening in Austria. Austria was an explosion and wasn't a crack. This was the crack. Here's the fourth one. Right away, fourth problem. Is this sabotage? Think about this. Is there an update on this? No. The North Sea is headed for a sweeping shutdown unless a small crack in a pipeline near Aberdeen can be fixed quickly, industrial experts have said. This owner guy said it would take weeks rather than days to fix the leak, which was detected running a routine inspection at Netherley last week. A number of residents were evacuated from their homes. The road was shut down, Cordendorf said, after the discovery was made in the forest in the 40s, it's called, 40s pipeline system. Where is this? Let me see the map. This by Austria, it's suspicious. But there are key strategic distributions in this world, folks, that have disrupted. Oof, watch out. Oh, great. Right up here by Ireland and United Kingdom is where they're having major snow problems and really, really bad weather. They got hit with a unexpected, unusual Category 2 or 3 hurricane it was. I think that was Scotland. And now they got a snow blizzard. It was in France, but it's up here. It's definitely a cold area up here by Iceland. Now they got a pipeline crack that could erupt. Alright, so here's Austria. Problem. No energy, no gas. United Kingdom, Ireland. No power, no gas, let's say. Let's worst case scenario. The nuclear power plant, let's see where that was. That's reducing power. They're running off of 1 now. Where is it? Do you see it? Nuclear event. State of Virginia. Now you might say, Mike, there's no correlation here. You're out of your mind. They don't have anything to do with each other. Or do they? There's highly intelligent people out there that know how to spark events. So if these events are being triggered by pipeline here, power plant here, a leak over there, another event there. There has to be intersecting points that are going to fill in the blank, you know. I'm just saying. Be open-minded. All right. All right, so let's get back to it. I got to read the rest. It's a big read here, but I think it's important to see what else is involved here. All right. A number of residents were evacuated. The road was closed and cordoned off and set up after discovery was made of the 40s pipeline system. Some guy at some Aberdeen University Energy Institute said the lengthy stoppage meant North Sea fields would have to stop production due to a lack of shortage capacities. Here's another thought. Italy declared emergency because lack of supplies. What does that do? That takes resources and supplies away from something else. And that something else might be some type of defense, some type of military. So, their guard is down, literally, because they're unable to then use those resources for defense. Sort of like a distraction as well, too. Look over here, don't look there, misinformation. What else is going to take place as that unfolds? What's going to be missed? What is that covering up even too as well? You know, these Rockefellers, they took down, that Asian flight that has never been investigated any further as far as I know, where he was the sole survivor that wasn't on the plane, that was a patent holder of that some sort of microchip technology for national defense or missile guidance or something system. Everyone else that was a patent holder was on that plane, and that plane's gone. I don't know. Captured, perhaps, and working on a private, military thing. Which is my thinking, because relatives rang the cell phones of their relatives, and it didn't go right to voicemail. Kept ringing and then went to voicemail. So that tells me it was picking up a signal still somewhere on the phone on the planet. And no debris, nothing. Just saying. Oil giant BP said last night that it had already stopped production in 3 of its hubs. Here we go. This is what I'm telling you. While the problem is dealt with, and here is the dealt with, weeks. Would take weeks rather than days to fix. So we're probably talking up to a month of no production here from a crack. You got the big explosion leak, killed 1, 18 injured, causing emergency in Italy. You got the nuclear event, shutting down 1, less power, who knows how that's going to react towards. And the other event, I forget what it was. Now, let's see what else they have to say. Prominent petro-economist Alex Kemp said the shutdown would be painful for oil producers and for INEOS, whatever that is, the company. But that a spike in petrol prices was unlikely. Not one day after that explosion, not even within 24 hours. They're saying that with their electric went up 97%, and the price of the gas went up 37% within 24 hours. Now you're telling me within a month, it's unlikely that petrol prices will follow, that will spike? You're wrong. The fact that you're even mentioning it tells me you're guilty. You're wrong and complacent. The price of Brent crude rose nearly 2% to $64.61 per barrel yesterday. The 235-mile pipeline system links more than 80 North Sea fields to UK mainland and the INEOS site in Grangemouth. It delivers almost 40% of the UK's North Sea oil and gas production. INEOS completed a deal to buy the system from BP for up to $250 million at the end of October. The petrochemicals giant said late last week that it had lowered the pressure of the pipeline after identifying a hairline fracture, but did not have it shut down. There you go. I wonder if that's the same one. But yesterday, Enos said the crack had gotten bigger. Yep, same one, same crack. Forcing it to control shutdown. Enos said in a statement. Despite reducing the pressure, the crack has extended, and as a consequence, the incident management team has now decided that a controlled shutdown of the pipe is the safest way to proceed. This will allow for sustainable repair method to be worked on based on the latest inspection data. Wow. All right. All this other stuff's going on. Let's see. Producers not happy. Will suffer the same unstopped production. Concerning the same problem, the leak in nearly could rise another part of what is that? And that will have an impact on service companies. Mr. Segamore said he was concerned that the same problem which caused the leak in Netherley could arise in other parts of the pipeline. Fiona, a North Sea analyst at consultancy Wood Mackenzie, said even a temporary shutdown of Forties would have a wide-reaching implication for the UK and gas industry. Route will suffer the reduction cash flow during the shutdown period. Any outage is significant not only for the UK but also for the industry, as these unscheduled outages are painful given the relatively high cost base of upstream assets which remain unchanged whilst revenue is deferred. Hate to be their insurance company right now if they're making a claim. All right, so you get two spectrums, two different points of view right here. You know, one analysis saying that this is of a great concern, it's going to be a problem, and this other one saying it's not a problem, and because of the timing, and the other one says it'll take weeks. I'm saying it'll take up to a month, and now they're saying also the implications for UK oil and gas industry, or is that oil and gas in the UK? They didn't properly word this. Wide-reaching implications for the UK oil and gas industry. Okay, I'm gonna say that's meaning as it is written, how it's supposed to be, just for UK only, their gas and oil, not UK oil and as a worldwide gas industry. But yeah, I think that would be far-fetched anyway. All right, let's see what else is adding to these complications we're having right now. And they say I'm crazy. Let's see, what else? Iran, 2.4, 2.7. Alright, we got a fire in Connecticut, extreme weather in France, yep. Flood in the Philippines, extreme weather in Italy. Oh boy, this is 9 hours ago, a level 4. On top of the emergency they just declared now because of this pipeline explosion too. Is this God's hand at work? Is this God having a problem with the Antichrist, the Vatican? Snow, rain, high winds hit road and rail and ferries. Links in Italy with the center and north most affected areas. Train traffic was disrupted. Piedmont because of the snow and the rain, while there was a risk of avalanches in Trentino. 150 kilometer per hour winds near La Spezia, and ferry links suspended to and from many islands. Rivers were also being watched for the risk of breaking their banks. One river, the Entella, did break its banks near Chivalry in Liguria because of the high levels of its tributaries. The situation is more critical in Liguria and Piedmont said rail network company RFI. It said the rail traffic would remain suspended until 0600 Tuesday in Piedmont and Liguria, while the situation was also highly critical in Emilia, Romagna, and Tuscany. Schools were closed Monday in some parts of the... All right, so they're dealing with this. It's a problem. Doesn't seem like it's an emergency. Pray for these folks. They get through this. Looks like they invested in the railroads last year. A lot of money. Big transportation there, all over the world, really, of railroads. Just think of that. Think of the implications. How great railroads are. If they were never built, you went from horse and buggy to railroads and then to cars. Amazing, right? But very dependent upon and very critical in vulnerability. They can't be guarded, folks. That's all I got to say. Not going to give any ideas out there to anybody, or don't even do a video or even mention that. But it is a, let's just say it's a vulnerability, and hopefully stays safe. Pray that stays safe, our transportations. All right, where else? That was, well, there's France, Philippines, Italy. Tornado 9 hours ago. South Africa, a level 3. USA biological hazard in Virginia. Nuclear event in Virginia. Indonesia, 10 hours ago. Vehicle accident, biological hazard. Multiple areas. Atlantic Ocean. Oh boy, what is this? Level 0. Fishing nets and lack of food blamed for pushing number of the world's most endangered marine animals to just 450. Oh, this is the whale, right? The right whale. This is disgusting and shameful. Really is just horrible. The whales, again, are in danger. Just barbaric mind. You know, as if we are, I don't know, mindless creatures. Just unaware of consequences. Greed. Really what it boils down to. Greed, sin in the world. Pray for the whales, folks. All right, 2 things in Virginia, both 10 hours ago. One is that nuclear power plant shut down, so I'll read to you and then come back to this other event, biological, see if they're related. Dominion Energy has shut down one of its 2 nuclear reactors at the North Anna Power Station after the company says a very small water leak, another leak, was discovered in the cooling system. Dominion spokesman Rick told the Times. Interesting. Oh, they got a link there. Oh, that's the first time I've ever seen that. That Unit 2 at the Louisiana station was taken out of service Sunday afternoon. Dominion told its employees in an email Monday that personnel identified the leak location involving an instrument that provides operations with information on the water level in the reactor. The email says the personnel are working to fix the problem and that the unit will return to service soon. All right, so the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has been advised or warned. Let's see what this link is here. Got a reactor here. So this is the reactor here in Louisiana County. Shuts down after a water leak into the water that goes into the ground, that goes into our water faucets. Thank you very much. Right. All right, so there's their report and everything that I talk about in pop-up ads. Notice how I said talk about. The Senior Nuclear Regulatory Commission resident inspector said the leak was discovered Saturday, and they had to wait for radiation levels to go down so workers could enter today. What were the radiation levels? We want to know. What was the total amount of leakage, and for how long? Where did the radioactive water leak onto? The floor? Why didn't this event show up on today's Nuclear Regulatory Commission report. I like this guy. Erica, I'm sorry, girl. Erica, good questions. Good questions. Inquiring minds want to know. Give her a thumbs up. Go and support her. She's on Facebook. Look at this. Good woman. Stop the nuke con job. Honey, it goes a lot deeper than you know. I don't know how to navigate with this too well. I want to make a comment, give a thumbs up, share. Let's share now, public. Okay, it's been shared on my timeline. Okay. All right, so we got that happening right now in Virginia. What was this other thing in Virginia now? 23 hours ago. One was nuclear. Where'd it go? Nuclear, and another was biological here. Both level zeros. Don't worry about it, folks. Look to your right while we do this over here to the left. Don't look behind the curtain. Everything's okay. We got this. A fox that was exhibited, usually behavior confirmed Friday, having probably rabies. Okay. Yeah, rabies. Okay, rabid. Okay, nothing to do with you know, it's almost like a catch-22. I'm not used to seeing foxes. I can count on one hand how many times I've seen them in my life. But we have over here by Robert Moses Beaches in Long Island here. It's like a Pine Barrens type of area, Fire Island, small strip of land. That there's deer, and occasionally you see a fox. But people feed them. People throw out anything they got in their car, and these things are scavengers. They'll eat them. Big signs, don't feed them. People still, they pull over and feed them. Cops come over and go away. But these things come right up to your car, basically. They don't jump on the car, but they're not afraid of you so much. But you can see the timidness as compared to a wild fox. You're never going to even hardly see because they know you, hear you, smell you, or in the area like a rabbit. So, what is unusual behavior? I don't know. I know staggering around like they're drunk, drooling from the mouth. Uncoordinated steps. Like a drunk, could be a sign of that. But don't take a chance. That's all. Carry a whistle. All right, Ghana. I think we did that yesterday. Epidemic hazard. Oh yeah, the high school thing. Strange. People fainting. 23 kids. No updates on that. 20 or 23 kids periodically, not all at once, kept fainting at the high school. Unknown. So someone's experimenting with something. All right. What was the other update there? Oh, for the I'm not even gonna touch on that. This idiot. 3 days, 3 updates. Critical disruption. North Carolina, Alabama. What is this? On the 9th. Update for the 11th. Yes, less than 100,000 people remain without power on Sunday afternoon as crews from major utility companies continue to restore electricity this weekend. Winter storm. Okay. Winter's here, folks. Make sure you got everything in order to go without power for, I would say, a few months. Most people can't do that. I would say at least minimum 1 month. Minimum. Let's see. Long-term events. A few days ago, 2, 3, 6 days ago. I don't see any updates. I see one update from a volcano eruption in the Philippines. One update 7 days ago. Epidemic hazard in Australia. 12 days ago, one update. Where is Yemen? How come Yemen is not on here anymore? With the cholera. Madagascar is still on here with 29 updates, which we did all 29 of. Earthquakes. Let's see what we got. 3.9 37 minutes ago in Iran. Threes and twos I see. 4.3 in Iran 1 hour ago. Twos and threes. Iran. Look at this. Whole map is Iran. Look at this. 90% of these earthquakes are in Iran right now. What is going on in Iran? Any of these have a depth? Let's see if any of these have a depth here. Magnitude, depth, 5 miles. 5 miles. That's very shallow. Let's see. 3.1. Iran. 3.5. All I look at. Would you look at this? What the heck is going on in Iran? And this has been going on for a couple months now, folks, where it just all of a sudden just pops up. You know, this massive swarm. 4.2. 4 of them 5 hours ago. Like all the pressure is being released there. Oh, here's in Mexico. Oh, look at the big ones here. So it's a big aftershock from 6 hours ago. 2 6.2s and a 5.9 in Iran. So these are the major. I've never seen such major. No, I couldn't say that. What the heck was that? Lake Mosquito Lake. I think it was Alaska. Had this last year. Massive swarm in the aftermath. The aftershocks. 4.2 Mexico 7 hours ago. A few leading up to that big quake just had in Iran. Not much. 4.3 Mexico. But let's go see where this was in Iran 6 hours ago. A 6.2. What was the depth of that? 6 miles. Oh, very shallow. Let's see the population here real quick. It's not densely populated, but it is populated. But what are they doing out there? Are they doing something out there that's causing this? It's just major unsettling here. Mountainous, a lot of mountains. So there's got to be some sort of plate tectonic shifting going on, perhaps magma underneath. Maybe they're doing fracking out there. I wouldn't doubt it. Is there a satellite image? Let's go satellite image and zoom into here, see if we can see the oil platforms fracking. It's not gonna be easy to see with this overlay. I'd like to see this on Google Earth. Is that possible? Can we do a longitude, latitude, summary, longe and lat? Let's put that onto my map here. Copy. Map. Search. It went right to it. Amen. Look at that. Okay, so let's look for some oil platforms. Mountains, nothing. What's that over there? I see some white pads over here. Are these fracking? You're not going to focus in more than that? Come on. That'll be 2,000 feet up. That's it? Alright, these white spots might be oil platforms here where they're fracking. See, a lot of these pits. What are these pitted areas here? See all these holes? What is that? Shadows, perhaps, of something? I gotta get a zoom in here for, I'm gonna go to Google Earth for a second here and see what all those pitted are. I'm gonna get it closer. You guys aren't gonna be able to see this, I'm sorry. I'll go back to the alert map while I'm doing this so you guys can keep a watch on that for a minute. Time is at 10:20. Alright, where's my Google? Google Earth. Shut that down. Copy, paste, enter. Okay, let me go for a zoom. I'm going to go zoom into those other white areas I pointed out to you guys. Not really enough of them, I don't think, anyway, to cause so many disruptions like this. Again, not clear. Can't zoom in. It's not focusing, so Google Earth isn't allowing. So I'm concerned they're hiding it. They're not allowing it. But if we go back in time on the history map, there is no. Nope, can't do that either. There's no timeline on this. Sometimes you can go back, 20, 30, 40 years in that same area. Well, if I zoom out and go to the mountains over there, see where those pitted areas are, see what they are. Are they lakes? What are they? This is definitely what I was showing you there, those pitted things. It looks more like tributaries, almost like rain, like flash floods. Yeah, again, not going to be focused. All right, they're not allowing you to zoom in for some reason. All right, let's see where we're at. All right, so that was the rest of the quakes. 4 days ago, we had two 6. Look at this, 6666. Depths 0 and 62 miles. One in Village, Micronesia, and Pacific Ocean, Carolina Islands. No tsunamis observed. Nothing in the volcano activity report on the 9th. Last one was there in the Philippines. No active tropical storms. And the super volcano monitoring, we have as of the 12th, so we'll do the 11th and 12th, 24 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4 super volcanoes huffing and puffing. That's good. All right, let's check out my channels that I subscribe to on my YouTube channel to see what they're updating on, and then call it a day. Again, if you need, forget the procedure, but definitely look that up. If you're in the wilderness, you're hunting, you're killing, you're eating your prey, and they have hides you could use. How big it is, something as well as gloves, scarves, socks, hats, perhaps even full coats you could make out of this, pants, jackets, out of their hides, and you have nothing, perhaps just water. You warm up the water and you take their brains and you mush it in there and you spread that around on the hide. That, I think it's called tanning. Look into it. There's a lot more involved into it than I'm saying. Why is extreme wealth disparity bad for the U.S.? That's the Common Sense Show. Trump Breaking News Network. Less than 1 year after Trump took office, Iraq declares victory. Iraq. Snafu. Twitter bans users starting today. The White House First Lady hosts a Hanukkah reception. Museum of the Bible, Hanukkah, Festival of Lights. Happy Hanukkah. Gun owners of America firing back. Oh, the irony. 19 minutes. Trump breaking news. Former Clinton advisor sides with Trump, exposes the truth. I guess that's behind. It got cut off. Yeah, behind. Oh, God, please retire. Christ's forgiveness. The Book of Lamentations 3. Close. Dr. Eric Berg, D.C. Do sit-ups really flatten your belly? Right Side Broadcasting, a set reminder for Press Secretary Sarah Sanders at the White House coming up today. What a job she has. Not a job I would want. I don't know where Trump got her from, but she's a pit bull. And let me tell you, to sit there to not explode on these mindless troll shills, puppeteers of the left that are in the audience, brainwashing the public with their questions. But it's not so much the questions. I can't even tolerate listening to this. Go to there and listen for 5 minutes if you can. But don't pay attention to the question. Pay attention to the keywords they're using to put out into the public minds and how they spin. It's more of a statement they're making than a question. And 5, 22, 28, 29. Okay. Says we are. Good. Successful reconnection. Good. List of missing evidence by court observer Mrs. Wendy. This is pretty good. This is what's going on with the Bundys, with the judge that seems to be somewhat of an oath keeper. We'll see how it pans out because so far there's no jury nullification going on. I don't even know if they've declared that illegal now yet in the United States. Or even if they're aware of that. The government's evidence is imploding left and right in this Bundy case because of evidence that was not brought forth, evidence that was suppressed, evidence that was lied about, questions of evidence that were denied yet shown to be true that existed, such as entrapment, the FBI being involved, the slaughtering of the cattle, snipers around. So much, and to listen to this lady is so great and such a joy to hear these things. First of all, they're not allowing the public into the courtroom. I don't know how you have to be related to them or somehow just to hear the hearings going on. So she's going in there taking notes and coming out and saying this is what the judge has discovered, and she's giving little keyword hints there too as well. The prosecution saying things like, double jeopardy, mistrial, and but they don't want a mistrial. They want a what do they call it? A dismissal with prejudice, I think it's called. That's what they're hoping to get out of this. This way, it can't be reopened by another prosecution later on for something else, and it keeps going on and on and on. So I think they're going to get their, whatever it was I just said, without prejudice, dismissed without prejudice. So it can't be reopened, set free, done and over with. Now, hopefully these guys will turn around now and start suing these people that murdered Lavoy Finicum, that planted, I don't want to say planted evidence, that misrepresented evidence, that lied, that did entrapment, that caused the loss of wages because of they were held without bail because they were declared dangerous, violent, and no evidence proved to that, and it was contrary. The judge said, this must be a new judge, obviously, because it was moved to Las Vegas. The judge said, no, released. You're out. Here's an ankle bracelet. Go home. We might need you back. We might not. So praise God. Pray for the Bundys and the Hammonds. This situation gets that victory, that we could claim victory over this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Sean Stroller moved to reception. Don't know what that is. Lone Star 1776. He's reporting a lot of things about people in jail, which is great. We need prison ministries. We need to know what's going on in there in these Gestapo mafia type of overcrowded jail systems and over I don't know what they're called. The United States has the largest population of people in jail per ratio of population density. In other words, I think there's 20 million people in jail right now. That's disgusting. It's a business. It's a for-profit business is what it is. And they try to keep it full to make money, really, basically. It fills up the pockets of the judges, the prosecutors, the lawyers, the jail system, psychiatric centers, police stations. Think about it. Shut down the jails or cut them in half and watch some honesty start coming out. Trump's real. That's something I'm sure that's on Trump's list to do. And trust me, he's going to get to it. The guy sleeps 4 hours a day, and look what he's done so far in the first year. He's going to be bored. 6 months from now, the guy's going to be bored and start going after chemtrails, fluoride in the water, GMOs, you know, everything else. All right. Why are retirees increasingly supporting their children? It's rough out there. And some of them are lazy. Ozarks Tactical Homesteading, SHTF, WRL, Camouflage, Hunting, and Preparedness. That looks good. Trump Breaking News Network, actress Emma Stone. For the first time in history, we have a president. She's saying something. Okay. Zebras fighting battle for stripes. Oh my God. Kick to the jaw. Into thin air. More snow for northeast. Plasma tornado, twice the size of Earth. Wow. Oh boy. Oh, on the sun there. Right. Okay. This guy is with that other report for the Bundys. Check him out. These guys are together. Mrs. B. Stacy. Definitely subscribe. Support. This guy's running for sheriff. I'm not sure if it's Las Vegas or wherever he is, but he's a constitutionalist patriot, and he says he will not tolerate or stand for what this federal government did to his to the patriots that were standing up for their rights for the BLM to not take their land. Basically, what it comes down to. Excuse me. That we need more constitutionalist Christian-type sheriffs like this man here, and it's a shame in Long Island, New York here. The one Christian sheriff we had running here, Pete Krause, I think his name was, got decimated by his opponents that weren't Christians. Just a real shame. Shows you where the mindset is. But anytime you get an opportunity to support or to plant a seed for a Christian to run for an office, especially in the public political office, push them, pray for them. We need this in our school systems too as well. Everything having to do with politics or government. Get Christians in there. It'll really make a big difference. That human heartfelt, is what we need, besides a computer making a decision or a red traffic camera giving you a ticket. Get rid of those things real quick. All right. This is dismiss with prejudice is the only decision, right? Is that what they want? That's the only option. Your brainwashed TV. Flat Earth gravity doesn't exist. This man proves it with his demonstration on flat surface. I love it. Good. Crop circles keep popping up. This is good. Definitely need to get into those more. Where have they gone? What else have we learned from them? Hoax, real, interpretations. They need to be really broken down. What is the message? What do crop circles say? Nice picture, but what is it? Is it a part of a circuit? Is it a machine? Is it a frequency? What are you trying to tell us? I think the best one that they have out there, let me see if I can find it real quick, is they sent out a message. I don't know when it was, and they got a message back, supposedly. Let's see, crop circle, RCL, alien message back. So if you're interested in these things, here it is. This is a crop circle. This is a message that was encrypted. I don't say encrypted. I forget what it was. It was coded, but it was binary or something. They deciphered it, and it said something. I mean, look at that. That is not something. This is huge. This is, I don't know, 20 acres, 30 acres of land. You can see a road over here. This is not something that's done by man. People did not make this with shadows, pixelated. He's holding up this disc here with a message on it. Save image as. Definitely got to save these. Love these things. Desktop. Gonna make a new folder just for crop circles. Crop circles. Enter alien. Okay. So, what's that message? What is that message? I think this is the message that they sent, actually. You know, this is us, we're humans, this is you. And they replied back with this message. I don't know what that is. That looks like some fake evil. Looks like a skull. That looks like, no. Oh, no. Never saw that one. But let's see what the message was. Crop circles decoded, alien messages. Let's see. Two most important alien messages. One represented the human face. Oh, yeah, that was the other one. Okay. Go away, pop up. You selling me crop circles, boards? Alright, so messages sent, received. Looks interesting how they do that. Look at this, the interpretation. That's great. Here's a pixelation, like a forensic scientist, like a sketch artist type of thing. First, I'll give you some background in the original message. From 1974, it was sent out. The northern coast of Puerto Rico. So this is the message encoded into zeros and ones. Binary coding. Okay, so this is what it came out to. This is what it looks like in a picture. Decoding the original message. Formulas and all this stuff. Looks like they're representing the solar system, the planets, the movements. And then it looks like they sent out another message, two messages. One was in 74, this one in 2001. Oh, I can't think to simplify this. I know it was something about time. There was still time. And it's detailed. Wow. So here, look, they decoded it. 01000010 equals 66, which equals B. Don't ask me how they figured that out, but and so forth and so on. Deciphering. Oh, here it is. Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. This sounds like politicians. But much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing. 0 times 07. I don't remember that being in there. The binary code of 0 times 07 at the end of the message would produce a bell sound similar to that of an old typewriter bell. Interesting. So, all that to read that. A riddle. All right, moving on. Fruits versus berries on a ketogenic diet. Dr. Eric Berg, D.C. White House Press Secretary Sanders is set reminder. What time is it? I gotta get out of here. Running snail. Emergency radio. Stay informed. All right, I gotta wrap this up, folks. No major emergencies here. Check this out in the archives. If you want to pause it and click on it and find it, type it yourself. Actually, you won't be able to click on it, but what is this? Paul Begley's show last night. CNN, Trump drinks 12 cans of Diet Coke. What, a day? I don't see how it's possible. The guy's a healthy guy. He doesn't drink alcohol or smoke. I never did, I know that. Pray for Judge Roy Moore that he wins his seat there in Alabama. Ancient crop circles in Africa. Another one from Disclosure TV, Truth TV. Hagman report, looked like a good report. Check out that from last night, the official Hagman report. Definitely some channels keep talking about this spying on us and stuff, and control. Abu 7's been talking about it. A couple other channels. Definitely worth looking into. Didn't see this. Definitely worth looking into. Red Hammer Hayes channel. Las Vegas cell phone video footage of shooter on Lexor rooftop. Oh, this was silly. Not silly, but I don't know. I find it really weird. Where is it? Got low bandwidth now. Where'd it go? It was refreshed and it got out of place now. Alright, fine. Be that way. I'll circumvent you and go to my history. No, can't do it that way. There's always changes back and forth. History. This stuff. These little tiny drones. Of course, with feedback. What's that? Rock, Beethoven? Floyd? Who? U2? Violins? Wow, what is this? Rocktopia.com. Broadway. Rocktopia.com. Art Copeland. Rocktopia.com. Check that out later. Let's see. Is this the guy? Yeah, this is the guy. So he made this tiny little drone, this guy. See it flying around him? Then he shows you. Then it shows the drone point of view. Tiny. Look how small this thing is. He goes to catch it. It defensively is very fast. Oh, look, okay. Flying itself. It's AI is saying. 100 times faster than a human. So this guy is saying this thing is able to defend itself. It has a explosion in it that could kill. That could chase. I don't know what the battery life is. So he just threw it. It started flying around. It's going after this target right there. Bang! The thing just shot, self-destructive, suicide, kamikaze style. Penetrate the skull. Look at this. So this thing is really a weapon. Identification. I don't know. He's saying, it was used in this instant here to help defend against these guys shooting and being shot at. $25 million. They could send out a hole. They blast a hole in something like a glass or something. So my question is to you, how do you stop them? $25 million buys you an army. Now, here's the scary part. These things can be programmed to go after a profile, an identification characteristic, such as age, sex, fitness, uniform, So they could be programmed to go after somebody, in camouflage or camouflage with beards. Or I don't know if they have audio. I don't know if they could recognize a dialect, a language they might speak. See, one just crashed in there. Here's an example of them going after students. Say in the classroom, these guys are all for, the Constitution and patriotism. So how do you defend yourself against something like this? How can you? Well, they have to be in touch with you. I don't know if there's signal. There are going to be, I think, more weaknesses than strengths in these things. What is the distance of the signal that they could send back? If they AI are artificially controlled, they don't need commands, supposedly. So what is the ability for them to engage on their own? Obviously, they have some sort of defensive mechanisms. So I got in a couple dialogues here with the guy that put this up there. I think it was William Mount, about doing something simple against them, as if you can come up with an EMP that could crash them. Water, something as easy as a squirt gun, perhaps. Don't know. Are they waterproof? A fire extinguisher. How about you wearing a disguise? If they're going after certain things, or if you think they're looking for you, or a certain characteristic, a mask, a Halloween mask. What else? WD-40, wasp spray that shoots out 27 feet. There's got to be a dozen ways to defeat these or to trick these things, and those things will come out on the internet, obviously. So, your thoughts? Now look at that. Now listen to that. After I go off the air, which is now, we are done here. I have a full day ahead of me. All right, folks, thanks for joining. Please check out our sponsor, ambertracks.com, for emergency survival supplies. And if you want to hire me for a consultant in emergency off-grid survival, stockpiling, real estate improvement, locations, offense, defense, ideas. I do not do physical training of martial arts or weapons. And bunker buildings. Our other website is worthingtonbunkers.com for that. And for the emergency survival supplies and waterproof Bibles, go to ambertracks.com. All right, God bless you. Thanks for joining. See you again, God willing, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time at facebook.com/ambertracks for a live broadcast, and then I upload it later onto youtube.com/ambertracks. All right, have a great day. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.